What's up, Bears fans? We got some news here on a Friday, the day before the preseason opener against the Tennessee Titans. We'll break down that signing in just a moment. But speaking of the game, you got a score prediction for tomorrow's preseason opener? If you do, drop it down in the comments below. I'll say Bears 24-17. They win the preseason opener. Drop your score prediction between the Bears and the Titans. All right, my name is Harrison Graham. Let's get to the news of the day. The Bears have made a roster shuffle as they have claimed offensive lineman Logan Stenberg off of waivers. They have cut Aron Cruickshank, the rookie wide receiver out of Rutgers, in a corresponding move. We'll talk about Cruickshank here in a little bit, but the Stenberg claim is pretty interesting to me, more so because of the position he plays and not so much because it's a huge name or something like that. But the Bears have had some offensive line issues in camp. Nate Davis has missed a lot of camp. Tevin Jenkins missed a couple of days of practice. And from what it sounds like, the defensive line has been better than the offensive line in camp. So this is another example of Ryan Poles shuffling at the bottom of the roster and trying to see if something can stick here. Logan Stenberg, a little background on this guy, was actually a fourth-round pick in the 2020 NFL Draft for the Detroit Lions. Played his college ball at Kentucky. In 3 seasons in Detroit, he's played in 25 games, started 4. All 4 of those starts last year at right guard. He played just under 230 snaps last year for Detroit, all at right guard. And so he's got a little bit of experience. Here's the issue. The experience doesn't appear to be much impressive experience. I'm not going to sit here and say I watched a bunch of the tape before I'm bringing you this news, but his PFF grades last year, overall, 39.3. That is very low. You know what's astronomically low? His pass blocking grade. I don't think I've seen a grade this low on Pro Football Focus. 15.0. Let me repeat that. 15.0, okay? That's very low. Run blocking 57.2. That's adequate. I mean, that's average, tick below average based on PFF's grading scale. But 15 flat on the pass blocking. Now, he played in 4 games. You know, there could be some reasons for that. He's probably not that bad, but he's clearly not good as a pass blocker. Otherwise, you know, Detroit would probably be looking to keep this guy around as he was in the final year of his rookie contract coming up, but that is obviously not the case. So, and by the way, just to dive into more specifics, 130 pass block snaps played last year, 98 run block snaps. So the thing he was better at was in a smaller volume. So that's pretty interesting as well. Have you heard of Logan Stenberg before? I'm starting to break him down here on today's show. Be honest with me. Let me know if you've heard of him. Maybe you have, as he's been in the NFC North. Type Y for yes, you have, or type N for no, you haven't. So what could this mean, right? Well, I think we know one thing for certain. Nate Davis is not playing tomorrow. I think that's pretty clear. He has not competed in a padded practice yet. Now, I don't think Logan Stenberg will play tomorrow either. That'd be quite the turnaround. But I do think that, you know, offensive line depth is a question on this roster. Even though Stenberg has had struggles, he's at least played a little bit. He has some pedigree as a former 4th-round pick. He's 6'6", 312, has some intriguing size in there on the interior. Maybe a change of scenery could do him some good. And here's what I will say. This is where having that number 1 spot in the waiver claim order is very valuable because Aron Cruickshank, who we'll talk about in a second, look, he wasn't going to make the 53, right? So why not bring in Logan Stenberg, see if he shows you something the final 3 weeks? I would say it's probably an uphill battle for him to make the final roster, but you never know. It's not like the backup offensive linemen have shown a great deal up to this point in time, and even the starters have had some struggles in training camp. So I'm cool with the move. I don't have super high expectations for Logan Stenberg, if I'm being completely honest, but divisional guy, knows the North. 4th-round pick, so there's something there. Maybe this Bears coaching staff finds enough to maybe he sticks around as a backup or at least lands on the practice squad. This is why you subscribe to the channel, because regardless of how big the news or how small the news is. We want to break it down for you guys. We want to dive in with both feet and keep you guys up to date with everything surrounding this football team. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. And by the way, we're going to have a live watch party tomorrow. Bears Titans kickoff at noon Central. We'll go live at 11 a.m. Central for a full pregame show extravaganza. So don't miss out. Be sure to join us for that. Okay, Aron Cruickshank, who was cut in a corresponding move. Numbers game, right? It's kind of crazy to say that the Bears are pretty deep at wide receiver now. Now, I know Chase Claypool's a little nicked up, but it doesn't sound super serious. He certainly should be ready before week 1. I doubt he plays tomorrow, but in terms of the severity of the injury, I don't think it's something to be super concerned with. Aron Cruickshank, had one of the highlights of camp. I think it was the very first practice in the indoor facility due to bad weather, where he caught a one-handed ball on a back shoulder from either Justin Fields or PJ Walker, and that was like, okay, Aron Cruickshank, that's UDFA, maybe splashes a little in the preseason. Well, unfortunately for him, we're not even going to get to see if he could have because he gets cut the night before the preseason opener. So certainly a bummer for him. But maybe the Bears are doing him a solid here and saying, hey, man, we're going to cut you loose now. We picked up this guy off waivers. It's a numbers game here. Maybe you get a chance to land elsewhere. So we wish Aron Cruickshank the best. Wide receiver, gadget guy, return specialist, but you've got plenty of options there. Velus Jones, Treston Ebner, Dante Pettis. You don't need another returner in the mix. So Aron Cruickshank hits the door. All right, a couple of thoughts heading into tomorrow's preseason opener. And by the way, if you missed it, put out a video earlier today, 5 things to watch for in the Bears-Titans preseason game. So go check that out after this video. But I'll just expand a little here. Obviously, Bears have had a lot of people banged up. I mentioned Chase Claypool, Nate Davis, some of the defensive guys recently, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Eddie Jackson have all missed some time. Obviously, Jack Sanborn, Tremaine Edmonds. There's been a lengthy list, so we'll see who does and does not play. Now, Matt Eberflus said earlier this week that select starters will play, and it will vary how many snaps the starters that do play, how many snaps they actually do play. So, kind of a vague answer to say, yeah, we'll put starters out there, but hard to say how long. I think Justin Fields, for example, if the offense goes down and has a good first drive, that could be it. Maybe you give him 2. But I am in the camp that I think he should play at least in these first 2 preseason games, if not all 3. Ramp him up for the regular season, give him more reps as we go. Now, if they want to sit, the older veterans, which there aren't that many, but I don't expect Yannick Ngakoue to play tomorrow. He's only had a couple of practices. I don't really need to see him in the preseason. Hell, you could argue you don't need to see DJ Moore, although I do think he should play at least in 1 or 2 games with Justin Fields to get this connection going in real games as well. So I do think he will play. Does Darnell Mooney play? He appears healthy, but they've been very cautious with him. I wouldn't be surprised if they held him out. Does Deontay Foreman play this game? He's been a little nicked up this week. Roshan's been banged up at times, although he returned for the past couple of practices. So something to monitor there. And then also rookies. Which rookies stand out? Which rookies don't? How long do these rookies get to play? Like Darnell Wright, when we talk about select starters, if I'm Matt Eberflus, I'm cool playing him a full half. Now, I don't know if they will play him a full half, but I don't think Darnell Wright and Cody Whitehair should check out at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, Whitehair's probably going to check out when Justin Fields does. I don't think Darnell Wright should. He needs to play. And you could argue second-year left tackle Braxton Jones should be in the same boat, that he should play as long as Darnell Wright does. Also, Tevin Jenkins, I know we're always a little concerned about his situation, but, if he wants to play an extra drive or so than some of the other starters, I'm cool with that as well. We need to build this continuity on the offensive line with as many of the guys as possible. You want to be a little cautious. Cody Whitehair's a little older. I get that. Obviously, I don't think Nate Davis is going to play as he's been banged up, but I would like to see those young tackles play quite a bit. Obviously, Javon Dexter, he's been a player that's been highlighted a lot during training camp. Sounds like he had a great practice on Thursday, so want to see a lot of him. Tyreek Stevenson's really picked it up the past week and a half or so after a slow start to camp, and a good preseason game or two, he could lock down that second outside corner job opposite of Jalen Johnson. I think he has pulled ahead of Terrell Smith, who's missed a couple of practices here, and just overall, Stevenson's elevated his game. We'll see if he can kind of get closer to locking that down. And then I think two guys that I'm really excited to watch: Roschon Johnson, Tyler Scott. Two players that I think can and hopefully will contribute to this offense this year. Scott's had some drop issues at camp, but he's been getting open consistently. I expect him to get a lot of run with PJ Walker. And then Roschon Johnson, especially in the second half, should play quite a bit. Give him 10 plus touches in the second half. I would be very pleased with that as well. All right, guys, let us know who you're most excited to watch in the preseason tomorrow as the Bears take on the Titans. 12 Central will be live at 11 a.m. Central with a full pregame show, and then we'll stay live for the watch party and have a full postgame show as well. Be sure to subscribe. Don't miss it. Turn on those notifications so you get notified on your phone, and we'll see you then here on Chicago Bears Now.